Guthrie moved through the woods with practiced ease. Each step he took was deliberate, his boots crunching softly on the forest floor. The air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, a familiar aroma that always brought a sense of calm to his mind. He had been walking these paths for years, ever since he was a child, and the forest had become a second home to him. He knew these paths better than the lines on his palms. Every twist and turn, every rise and fall of the terrain was etched into his memory. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, a symphony that played just for him. Sunlight dappled through the leaves, painting shifting patterns on the forest floor. The beams of light danced and flickered, creating a mesmerizing display that seemed almost magical. Guthrie often found himself lost in these moments, where time seemed to stand still and the worries of the world faded away. It was a day for foraging, for seeking out the treasures hidden beneath emerald ferns and moss-covered logs. Guthrie had a keen eye for spotting the edible plants and mushrooms that others might overlook. He enjoyed the challenge and the reward of finding nature's hidden gems. A glint of color caught his eye. It was unusual to see something so bright and vibrant in the midst of the green and brown hues of the forest. His curiosity was instantly piqued, and he felt a thrill of excitement as he moved closer to investigate. It was a splash of crimson against the green, tucked beneath the roots of a fallen oak. The contrast was striking, and Guthrie's heart began to race as he wondered what it could be. He had never seen anything like it in all his years of exploring the woods. Curiosity piqued, Guthrie moved closer. His steps were cautious, his eyes fixed on the mysterious object. As he drew nearer, he could see that it was partially buried in the earth, as if it had been there for a long time, waiting to be discovered. Nestled amongst the roots was an egg. It was unlike any egg he had ever seen before. The shell was smooth and glossy, with an otherworldly sheen that seemed to glow in the dappled sunlight. It was unlike any he had ever seen. The egg was a deep, rich blue, shot through with veins of gold. The colors were so vivid and intense that they almost seemed to pulse with life. It pulsed with an inner light, radiating warmth that beckoned him closer. His breath hitched. He could feel the heat emanating from the egg, a gentle warmth that seemed to seep into his very soul. It was as if the egg was alive, and it was calling out to him. He knew instinctively, with a thrill that shook him to his core, that this was no ordinary egg. This was something extraordinary, something magical. The realization sent a shiver down his spine, and he felt a sense of awe and wonder that he had never experienced before. As he reached out to touch its shimmering surface, a wave of protectiveness washed over him. He felt an overwhelming urge to safeguard the egg, to ensure that it came to no harm. The connection he felt to the creature within was immediate and profound. He felt an instant connection to the creature stirring within, a sense of responsibility so profound it stole his breath. The bond was unlike anything he had ever known, a deep and unbreakable link that tied his fate to that of the dragon yet to be born. As he cradled the egg in his hands, he knew that his life would never be the same again. The world was a dangerous place for a dragon. The forests and mountains, once their sanctuary, were now filled with threats. Greed and fear had driven the magnificent creatures to the brink of extinction. The ruins of once thriving dragon communities now stood as silent witnesses to the devastation wrought by humans. Guthrie could almost hear the echoes of their roars, now silenced forever. Could he risk revealing its existence? The thought gnawed at him. If word got out, the egg would be coveted by many for reasons both noble and nefarious. Could he bear the burden of keeping it safe? Could he bear the burden of keeping it safe? The weight of this responsibility was immense. He thought of the stories. These stories were more than just legends. They were a testament to the bond between dragons and humans, a bond that had been shattered by fear and greed. Tales of dragons soaring through the skies, their scales catching the light of 1,000 sunsets. He thought of the hushed whispers of their return, a legend clinging to hope. Could this egg be the key to rekindling that ancient bond, their scales catching the light of 1,000 sunsets? He thought of the hushed whispers of their return, a legend clinging to hope. Guthrie looked down at the egg, its luminescence reflecting in his wide eyes. He felt the faintest tremor, heard the whisper of life within its delicate shell. In that instant he knew he couldn't turn away. He would protect this creature, this beacon of hope, even if it meant sacrificing everything. Days turned into weeks, the dragon egg a constant presence at Guthrie's side. He built a hidden nest deep within the forest, shielding it from prying eyes. He spent his days hunting and gathering, ensuring he had enough sustenance for himself and the creature soon to emerge. One night, as a full moon cast an ethereal glow upon the forest, a crack spiderwebbed across the surface of the egg. He named the dragon Zephyr for the gentle breeze that rustled the leaves the day they met. As the weeks passed, Zephyr grew rapidly. Guthrie, his heart overflowing with an emotion he couldn't quite name, reached out a hesitant hand. He had never seen anything so magnificent, so full of life and mystery. One clear morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, Zephyr felt a new urge stirring within him. He spread his wings for the first time, feeling the air beneath them. It was a moment of pure exhilaration, a prelude to the adventures that awaited them. The sky called to him, a vast expanse of freedom and possibility. With a powerful thrust, Zephyr launched himself into the azure sky. The air crackled with energy as he soared higher and higher, his wings cutting through the wind with grace and power. It was a dance of pure freedom, a celebration of life. Word of a dragon sighting spread through the land like wildfire. Whispers turned into rumors, rumors into certainty. Hope flickered in the hearts of the downtrodden, while fear took root in the hearts of the greedy and power-hungry. Among those who heard the rumors were the dragon hunters, a ruthless band driven by avarice and the promise of untold riches. They followed the whispers, their hearts black with greed, their eyes fixed on the prize that would bring them unimaginable wealth and power. Their arrival cast a long shadow over Guthrie and Zephyr's peaceful existence. The once tranquil forest echoed with the clang of armor and the guttural commands of the hunters. Their presence was a blight, a stench of fear that permeated the very air they breathed. Guthrie knew he couldn't hide forever. The time had come to face the darkness that threatened to engulf them both.